You up?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Hello, my name is Joshua Alston. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified emotionally focused therapist. And today we're watching a clip from the Breakup entitled, I Don't Feel Like You Appreciate Me.
You sure?
What's up? What do you want?
I just want to say I'm sorry that I missed the concert, and let me know what that ticket costs. I'll pay you back for it.
Just leave me alone, Gary.
I planned on going to the concert. It's just I stopped by Johnny O.
It doesn't fucking matter, okay? Would you just leave my room and shut the door?
So I wanted to pause there. We entered this scene in a pretty delicate place. And one of the reasons I like this clip is sometimes some of the clips that we need to watch are some of the hardest. Because they can teach us a lot of things about ourselves as humans, our emotions, and how we react when we are feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling frustrated. It's not easy to be emotional, isn't it? We know something just happened, right? He referenced the fact that she invited him to a concert and he really wanted to go, but something came up. But in this moment, they both are protected. And why does that make sense? Because we're human. They're human. Right? Something happened. Yes, it wasn't just that one event, but something happened where now both of them are in a place where they have to be delicate. They have to be protected, because if not, they'll get hurt. So what we just saw, right, is this beautiful start to a conversation, or a desire to have a conversation about what happened. But right away, we notice, right, we have protections up. Brooke has a lot of protection, right? She's emotional, but she's also in a vulnerable place. Gary can see that, and he also knows from past different things, he needs to be vulnerable, but at the same time, he doesn't want to get hurt either. And so one of the most beautiful ways, right, she's trying to distance. She's trying to create a way to be protected in that vulnerability. And at the same time, so is he. So as we continue to watch this clip, I want you just to pay attention at first, whose character makes the most sense as they're talking. But not just, if you've seen the whole video, not just everything that's happening, but in this moment, whose actions make the most sense. Because I want to talk to you about it, look and see if we can learn from it.
Please.
I didn't really know that the concert mattered all that much to you.
Exactly.
Hold on a second here. Let me talk for a second.
Gary.
Brooke, you broke up with me. Then you have guys coming over here for dates, and all of a sudden you ask me to go to some concert. I mean, I just figured that,
Gary. I don't know how we got here.
I want to stop there because I think that's a powerful statement. I don't know how we got here. As I do with couples on a daily basis, maybe they don't necessarily say that right off the bat, but that's what they're thinking. How did we get here, right? Not many couples get together and think, okay, we're going to be in a really shitty spot in the near future. No, we're all filled with this beautiful desire to love and be loved and carry this out, right, till death do us part. But then we have moments like this where we ask that question, how did we get here? And the reason I'm pausing there is because I want you to start to notice both of them desire to be vulnerable. Both of them desire to connect. But as you see, both of them haven't had a consistent place to do that in a healthy way. Vince Vaughn's character, Gary, he tries to put out an idea, but then he gets the defense from Brooke. So quickly, you can notice that then he switches his tactic. He switches, oh, I tried to do this, and you have guys and all these different things. Because it didn't work, his desire to try to be vulnerable. At the same time, Brooke did kind of the same thing, right? One of the hardest things that we have to understand is, what is it that we're trying to say? How can we share it with each other? And how do we put it in a way that makes sense, not just to ourselves, but to each other? And that's not easy when we stay in the comparison place. Let's keep watching.
Our entire relationship, I've gone above and beyond for you, for us. And I mean, I've cooked, I've picked your shit up off the floor, I've laid your clothes out for you like you were a 4-year-old. I support you, I supported you, your work. If we ever had dinner or anything, I make the plans. I take care of everything, and I just don't feel like you appreciate any of it. I don't feel you appreciate me. And all I want is for you to just show me that you care.
Why didn't you just say that to me?
Gary, I've tried. I've tried.
Yeah, but never like that.
So that's a powerful statement too. Why haven't you told me? And I'm kind of smiling because, right, that's the irony of a lot of our relationships. And I appreciate the Brooke character. At first, right, I did this, I've done all these different things. Because what was I trying to do? I was trying to receive something. And one of the greatest ways that she feels appreciated is to see something from Gary. One of the hardest things about emotions is that a lot of times the emotions get the bad rep, but our mind and our perceptions, they misinterpret things. Not because we're bad. Ironically, it's because we're awesome people. We're trying to protect ourselves. Some of the hardest things to realize, especially being a therapist, the hardest things that I see is when beautiful intentions are missed. The Brooke character, she missed a lot of things. Gary character, he missed a lot of things. One of the saddest parts, or one of the many saddest parts, is the fact that the things that they did for each other and for themselves were because they were desiring to be good, desiring to be loved, desiring to help. And that's hard. Because we can put that desire out there. We can put it out there in different ways that represent us, in different ways that we've worked and have worked in the past. But one of the hardest things is when we receive something back that we didn't intend. One of the hardest things that I hear a lot with my couples, and I hear this online with the different people, is I just need them to come and talk to me, right? I just need my spouse to come talk to me, whether it's a male or a female. My partner, I just need them to come talk to me. I need them to share it this way and that way, or I just need them to do this. But the irony is that they've probably tried to do that, but something inside you got in the way. And it's not just you. Your partner says the same thing. If they would just do this, if they would just say it this way, if they would just show me, then it would fix my problem. And why does that make sense? It makes sense because it happens sometimes. It happens where my wife can come up and she gives me a hug and it's like, oh my God, oh my goodness, that felt so good. If she would just do that and she would just know that that's what I need, that would be amazing, because that was amazing. But we forget and we lose sight of the fact that we're all still human. We have lots of different things, and not try to create justifications or excuses, right? There's beautiful excuses. There are really good excuses out there. But ultimately, it's one of those things where wherever it came from, we've been fed this idea that we need other people to make us happy. I want to help people. One of the hardest things about helping people is that they've gotten really good at protecting themselves against help. And I'm saying that for me too, right? As you go about your life, you have a lot of good intentions. You got a lot of good desires. You've had faith in things and people. So when you have a good intention, right, even to put something out there, share a video, make a comment, find a reaction. Yeah, you're hoping that you could say the right things. You can make something perfect. You can say the most beautiful thing that's just going to inspire the world to change. And one of the saddest things is that we've been programmed to not believe. And not because we're bad, but because we're beautiful. Because we want to believe. Because we've had the moments where maybe when we weren't trying and somebody was able to be there for us, right? One of the greatest things in life is to have somebody there for you. One of the greatest tragedies is to realize that they were there and you didn't know. I was thinking about my dad, and there's part of me misses being taken care of. He was the kind of guy that did that. Took care of me, protected me, did things for me, my family. Some would call it privilege, but I call it I'm lucky. I was lucky. Where was I? Where was I going with all of this? And why am I videotaping myself? One of the hardest things that we must understand is that we all have good intentions and all have good desires. You have videos like this where two people are trapped in a world that doesn't teach to be vulnerable and healthy at the same time. One of the hardest things to watch about this clip is deep underneath both of their pain is a little boy and a little girl that just want to be loved. Just want to be taken care of. They just don't know how. They want to go back to the moments where they could just play and they could just enjoy life and know they've got somebody to appreciate them, to take care of them, to love them.
You might have said some things that you meant to imply that, Brooke, but I'm not a mind reader.
Wouldn't matter. You are who you are.
Listen.
All right, Gary, just leave the room.
Listen to me.
Gary, I don't want to be near you right now. Please, just shut the door.
You are who you are. One of the shittiest things about being emotional human beings is that we let the emotions amplify the meaning, and then the meaning becomes real, and the meaning gets stuck inside of our brains and starts stuck inside of our bodies and ultimately keeps us from loving and being loved. Her actions make sense. She's very protective because she doesn't want to get hurt, right? That feeling inside her that says, I'm not appreciated, it goes deeper. Her shame takes her deeper and says, I'm not appreciated because something about me, something deep inside of me. And at the same time, his actions make sense, right? I got to fix it. I got to make it better because there's a little boy that just wants to be loved, wants to be held, but he also is afraid that there's things inside of him, and he's afraid of that statement. It's just the way you are. We're all afraid of that statement, aren't we? Some of the scariest words, because we're humans and emotional, the simple fact that that might be true is scary. And because it's scary, our body will react to the fear, which then, if we've been taught to not be afraid, we've been taught that something's wrong, then we just got in that cycle. So I just want to just sit with you guys and say, that sucks. If I was sitting in that room with them, I would both just sit with both of them and say, hey, you're allowed to be scared. Because if what you're thinking was true, if this is the way things are and this is how it's going to be, you have to protect yourself, right? You have to. You have to do everything in your power if you're about to get hurt, right? That's what your body is saying. But one of the shittiest things that we've learned is that we've learned some unhealthy ways to protect ourselves. And one of the most unhealthy ways is that's just how things are. That's just the way things are doesn't mean that's the way things are. It's scary to think that they were, because it's not just that. Because if that's the way things are, we're going to get hurt. We're going to go through pain again. And that's, if that's true, would be scary. But the problem is we get stuck in that. We get stuck. Because life teaches us that. Life in the consistency and the self-fulfilling prophecies and all those different things. And so there's truth in it. There's truth to being human. There's truth to the reality of emotions. So this is where we need to learn to push pause and honor the fear of the emotions and the reality of the fear. But we must learn to change the meaning. One of the hardest things as I look at this and we go down to kind of the comments, right off the bat, we got people, I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. You are who you are. And each one of those comments says the same thing. Oh, they don't care. It's one of the saddest stories we tell ourselves is that if they just did this, then I would know that they love me. If they could just remember this, then I'm allowed to be loved. And yes, that is a beautiful thing when it happens. But if we attach meaning to their actions, to somebody else's actions, if we attach meaning that defines us, we are in trouble. Because they're human, not because, oh my gosh, they're going to take advantage, because they have different ways of coping. They have different ways of emoting. And Brooke talk about, you didn't do this, or I have to do all this, and I have to do all this. I want to sit with her and say, my gosh, what meaning does that make inside you? Because I imagine there's a part of you that loves taking care, loves being there, loves helping. Because I imagine at the beginning you got some appreciation for it, or maybe in some way. But then at the same time, you miss the subtle things. You miss the moments where he did things for her, and then she did things for him, and they both started to miss it. Because they were fixating on certain ways to be loved. Instead of this idea of, how can I learn to love myself? So before we can go and try to convince each other and try to convince our partners and tell them all the different things, we need to learn and just sit. That it's not Brooke's fault, it's not Gary's fault. They got caught up in this cycle, this unhealthy cycle that's fueled by love and fueled by good desires. They got caught up in it, and that's what got in their way of loving and being loved. But what I love to tell them is it's not that you don't want to be in this relationship anymore, you just don't want these feelings anymore. And so what we need to do is let go of the meaning. We need to change the rules and the definitions and the reasons we're in there. It's because we believe a certain way to be loved that it's not healthy. It's fueled by a beautiful desire, but it's not healthy. So we need to let go of a lot of the shit that we've been holding on to, but then learn to reprogram and rebuild and rescue the versions of ourselves that are trapped. To rescue the versions of ourselves that, hey, this is just the way you are. I like to say it's the way you were trapped in. Maybe we can go and rescue. And not, I'm going to do it for you, but I'm going to be there with you. You're going to find your lost parts. I'm going to find my lost parts. We're going to go and rescue them and free them so that they are no longer trapped in this version of themselves that keeps them from being able to be loved in a healthy way. Because that's not easy. It's not easy.